erreichte. Aus den Highlander, John Henderson. John Henderson nimmt es mit dem Weltranglisten 16. auf dem Doppelweltmeister, dem Weltmeister von 2011 und 2012 aus Stoke-on-Trent, Jackpot, Adrian Lewis. Match Nummer 3 bedeutet, wir haben den zweiten Caller auf der Bühne. Auch ihn kennt ihr aus vielen Fernsehübertragungen, den Calculator, Kirk Bevins.
Big stage darts, big names, big men on stage right now. The German Darts Open. It's the two-time world champion Adrian Jackpot Lewis and Big Hendo, the Highlander. John Henderson, he's already seen off the defending champion, beating Max Hopp in, well, an incredible display. I have to say, I do not have enough positives to say about the way that John Henderson handled Max Hopp and handled a potentially hostile crowd yesterday. Huge checkouts of 140 and 160 under massive pressure to see off the maximizer, and that's after beating a former world champion in Stephen Bunting in a last leg decider in the opening round. Can he beat Adrian Lewis and book his place in yet another quarter-final this year? 5 times he's made at least the quarter-final stages of a ranking event in 2019. He is looking to go a couple of steps further and make his first final. We know that Rob Cross will take on Gerwyn Price in the opening quarter-final. The winner of this one will face either Ian White or Darren Webster, and Paul Nicholson's alongside me in the commentary box for it. It's Jackpot and Hendo.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Adrian to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, I was very impressed with Hendo last night, and a lot of us backstage were rather nervous watching that match because we're not used to people booing Hendo. But the way he approached the match, the way he handled the crowd, and the way 42. He performed, got to applaud it. He showed how you play against a home favourite in Germany. Don't engage, just do your own thing, don't celebrate, and at the end, just put your arms up and say, I'm better than him.
Yeah, it was really, really impressive. Jackpot, though, has returned to the winner's circle in PDC Darts this year after an 18-month absence. Won his first title. It was in Wigan, beat Raymond van Barneveld in the final. Said it was like travelling back in time, Jackpot. But it's not just been limited to that. He's had a couple of quarter-finals and a semi-final on the Euro Tour, the German Darts Championship as well.
I do wonder what the rest of the season holds for Adrian now that he's back in the winner's circle.
Genuinely think the sky's the limit. We're not seeing him blast people away a lot, but there are little signs that the old Jackpot is there, and you've seen him get fired up and play some really top-quality darts in spells. We're just not seeing it as often as he would like.
He had a big average in Hildesheim when he was playing there, but stuttered against Daryl Gurney and suffered the penalty. But I think even Adrian would admit that the ability of blowing everybody away is less likely now because
60.
everybody's got more talent.
Possibly, but you know, if Adrian Lewis goes and averages 109, it was Johnny Clayton, wasn't it? Where he smashed him up on the way to the title that day in Wigan.
160.
If he does that, you know, even Van Gerwen's going to struggle to live with that. He has a God-given talent, Adrian Lewis.
100. Adrian Lewis 150.
That was the dart that plagued him yesterday a little bit. Just a little bit low. And he found out later in the match he just needed to hold it a little bit higher or throw it a bit harder.
60.
And he can make fixes on the fly, Adrian Lewis. It's one of his best qualities. And oh boy.
What are you doing, Hendo?
Adrian Lewis 56.
60 required, 60 hit, but you're not allowed to do it like that. Well, let off, a massive one for Adrian, because that really could have been a breaker throw.
I think it's John to throw first. Game on.
I wonder what happened there. Did it just come out of the hand wrong? Did he go into scoring autopilot?
Well, the way he just stood there.
Just in exactly the same hole.
Did he think he required something else? I don't know.
Maybe he thought he had 80. Doesn't matter now. Adrian pings the 56.
96.
Bright side, John, is the fact that it was Adrian's throw.
Yes, there is that. The other thing to make
100.
note of for Big Hendo is that, all right, Adrian has won most of their games in the past, but the two that Hendo has won have both been in Germany, both on the European Tour, both actually at the same tournament, the German Darts Masters. And one of them was... Oh, I tell you, sorry, I do beg your pardon. He's won one of them. That was the best tournament he's had in PDC. Made the final. He was only beaten in the last leg decided by Michael van Gerwen. Their first one was in the same tournament, although Adrian did win that. He has won a couple of times on the Pro Tour as well. So he's beaten him on the floor, he's beaten him on the stage, he knows what it takes.
You can see from that side cam just how still Adrian is trying to be when he throws. That little glance to the left didn't disrupt his rhythm. A bit like a basketball player dribbling but doesn't have to look at the ball. John's a little bit different, he's always on the move.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts with Hendo.
But
making him work in that visit. Leaves himself tops. Going to be 20 for tops here. Not moving.
34.
And unable to go over the top of that previous dart.
Well, we know Hendo likes tops. This is where he finished the match last night. On a 160. He wasn't missing those over the last couple of days.
40.
Adrian's getting too many chances even at this early stage in the match. Good shot.
On the second leg, Adrian Lewis. Third leg is Adrian to throw first.
2-0 to Adrian, and you just get the feeling with Adrian. The thing that's most impressed me about Adrian is that he's had to go back, not to square one as such, but he's had to go back on the tour, playing everything, turning up week after week, playing Pro Tour stuff, going to the European qualifiers. Obviously, he did so well last year that he's now up into the seeded places. But he has had to go and do it the hard way. He's not given anything anymore just because of his name and his reputation. Because he found himself in a position where he'd go and play his TV tournaments, he'd be in the Premier League and all this sort of stuff. He's sacked off the European Tour pretty much for a couple of years. He was a former winner of the European Championship and wasn't even turning up to enough events to qualify.
You did an interview with him for the Darts Show recently, didn't you? And what was your genuine feel, not just when you were doing the interview, but when you were talking to him off camera? Did you feel that he'd eaten a bit of humble pie, he'd taken that step back to where he was back in 2005, 2006, 44. That he was okay with that maybe?
I think he's come to terms with the fact that, yeah, he did make some mistakes. He made some poor choices, I think, because he did just think, I'm here. I'm arrived. I'm a 2-time world champion. I'm winning a major title every year. I'm making world finals. You know, there's a point where him and Gary Anderson, over a 5-year period, they'd made more world finals than anybody else between the pair of them.
134.
And he just felt that I could just coast along here. I can sit quite happily, floating around in the top 8 and making major finals and earning good money and be a star of the game. And I don't have to really worry about it. But unfortunately, it only takes something to go wrong. And he was ill for a while. Oh, hello. Tops. Oh, look at this, Adrian. Oh, very nearly.
There was a clip on that first start, and just too much of it. Now, Hendo is going to need this. Not going to get there. Adrian's looking good for 3-0.
Adrian, you require 20.
Yeah, looking good for 3-0 without playing his best, but there have been little moments in this game where Adrian Lewis has shown some class, and Hendo has not been able to produce any moments of his own.
Yeah, going back to what we were saying about Adrian as well, when Gary Anderson plummeted to run about 19 in the world, I think it was, he was still selected for the Premier League. A lot of people thought, that's a bit of a questionable pick, that. But from that point on, he really did look at his calendar, and he was very smart with it. And then he started to play the best darts of his career.
Well, look, Gary Anderson started playing incredibly. One of the things was he started playing some Euro Tour stuff, and he started qualifying for them and, you know, doing well on them. And he was playing regularly. He was doing his practice once a week down the pub with his mates. Then he was going on the tour, winning titles, nearly got to double digits in a year, and ended by winning the World Championship. Now, Adrian Lewis has been playing all the tour stuff now. The only ones he's missed this year was when there was a handful of players who couldn't figure out the new computer system, so they didn't enter into the first ones. But he's tried to turn up to everything and play, and it's bearing fruit. He's playing better. He was knocking on the door all last year, made 4 finals, didn't win anything. Now he's won 1. And we're starting to see little flashes of the old, utterly destructive Adrian Lewis, who scares darts players. Because he is incredible. But all the talent in the world will only get you so far without hard work. And Adrian's been putting in the hard work for a long while now, and things just, he's a lot more relaxed. And that makes him even more dangerous.
150th, 180 of the tournament. He's not happy with that dart. He's had a few like that which have kicked to the right. And again.
Johnny Maguire, 61.
Well, treble 7 for tops.
Yeah, I was going to say, surely that's going in. And a wry look from Hendo.
Well, the thing that I like about Adrian at the minute as well, because he is so confident in his own. He's always been confident in his talent. But he's now at a point where, yes, he's put in the hard work. He's started to win things again. He knows he's been playing well. And even in the second leg there, for example, where he missed at tops, missed at tens, last start in the double 5, there's no panic there. He's surprised he hasn't checked this out already, but he's completely, supremely confident that he's going next dart. He doesn't panic. He knows that if he can play to his capabilities, he is a match for anybody in the world, and he includes Van Gerwen in that. And I think Van Gerwen includes him in that.
Yeah, I think he does. Well, he has to, considering some of the battles they've had in the past. But I think the most impressive thing at the moment from Adrian is that when things have gone wrong, not just for him, but when people have done things against him, he's not wasting energy on negativity. 87 after 9. It's a good leg in any language. Double 18.
69.
He will be back. But yeah, not wasting energy on negativity. Last week, Richie Edhouse nicked a game off him with a 160 checkout. And he could have easily thought, oh, well, why is this happening to me? Why is it constantly happening to me? No, he took it on the chin. He moved on. He's back. He's here. Double 8.
2.
Oh yeah, disappointment for Adrian, but it's no panic stations yet. Hendo's not down to a finish. Could have been an 11 darter this, but an 18 darter will win the leg for him.
41.
One of the greatest things you can be
Require
as a
16.
dart player is have a bad memory. Just forget about everything that's gone and you wait for the referee to say you require something and you just go up and hit it just like
On the
that.
fifth leg,
Doesn't matter what happened
Adrian
before.
Lewis.
You've got the leg in the bank.
Sixth leg is John to
4-1
throw
Adrian
first.
Lewis.
Game on.
Henderson does have a lot of problems here. He hasn't played poorly in spots, but he hasn't been able to live with the scoring ability of Adrian Lewis.
Well, look, the vast majority of people who ever pick up a dart and
66.
play will never achieve what Adrian Lewis has already done. He is 34 years old. His best could be yet to come. He believes that
60.
himself. And why not? And, you know, I think most darts players will say that. So, you know, John Henderson himself has said that he's probably playing better than he's ever played over the last couple of years.
How many countries has Adrian won a tournament in the PDC now? 'Cause he's won in New Zealand.
Yeah, won the Auckland Darts Masters in that mad final with Barney.
Definitely won in Scotland and England.
Yeah, he's won in Germany,
140.
he's won in Austria, Ireland, he's... Where else has he won? Never won in Vegas, did he?
No, he didn't. Which is a shame considering his nickname.
Yes, exactly.
And the backstory.
He didn't win, but he did get the nickname in Vegas.
Probably rather of the money.
96.
He's won in Germany multiple times, of course, because as a multiple World Cup of Darts winner, he and Phil Taylor have picked up the title.
100.
Won that on 4 occasions, 2012, 2013, 2015 and 2016.
Still the possibility that we might see Hendo in the World Cup.
There is, although Gary Anderson is playing midweek, I understand, in Barnsley. So
that's big news
to see him.
104.
Adrian Lewis has left a bogey number, so Hendo can take this in 3 or 6 if he chooses.
84.
He's going to need another visit. Been a few of those today from Adrian, just darts pushed to the right slightly.
123.
Yes, I'm nitpicking considering the guy who's 4-1 up. I'm talking about the darts he's missing. But double 5 for Hendo now. Yeah, that's there. It's the first leg he needs in a charge that has to come now.
Yeah, this might be where John Henderson has to break. Well, one of the places. Because if Adrian Lewis is to move within a leg of victory and Hendo's forced to win all 4 remaining legs, that might be a little bit too much. It's not as if Adrian is blowing him away here.
99.
But he's not having to.
I'm just squinting at the screen that we're looking at the minute. And I'm just trying to figure out how straight those darts are in the board. Because the way that they're behaving
100.
at the very last 5% of the throw arc, they seem to be diving. And if he does have a miss, Adrian Lewis at the minute, it's low. Which says that potentially
42.
he could do with some sort of change in the equipment.
Well,
to just level the dart out a tiny bit.
It was a 95 average against James Richardson yesterday, but I thought it was a very good 95 average because James Richardson was putting him under pressure all the time and Adi was just shrugging it off.
Yeah. We've said all along that great dart players can throw anything. Well, that's a beautiful visit from Hendo. Gets him back in the leg.
A good setup shot here on the gate that. There's that low dart that Paul's talking about and he's slammed into it.
See, I can't see a way, the way his darts are behaving, that he can bypass that block. He has to switch after dart 1.
Oh, he's a big fella. He's almost throwing down into that treble 20, isn't he? But even so,
142.
It's not one of those sort of floated darts in, like Barney.
Yeah.
He does throw them.
87. Johnny Reguire, 120.
This is a big visit. I remember him taking this out against Kim Huybrechts in Leverkusen a couple of years ago. He needs the 60.
Wow. Hendo all weekend, he won in the first round with a 142 checkout to win. He had a 140 and a 160 against Max Hopp. He's not looked likely so far in this one. And he's pushed to the brink of defeat. 5-2 to Adrian Lewis. And we've seen big performances so far. Gerwyn Price was, I thought, more impressive than his average suggested. His average of 94, 95 in beating Jamie Hughes. Rob Cross, very impressive. His average only at 101, 102 at the end, but for most of the game it was closer to 110. Here, Hendo's averaging more, but he's never felt like he's really in the game, because you look at the finishing stats here. John Henderson has had 8 darts at double. Adrian Lewis has had almost twice as many.
100.
It's funny when you said Hendo all weekend. It just didn't fit. I was waiting for you to say Hendo all weekend.
Yeah. Well, look, we all live in hope that the big Hendo weekend takes place at some point. And the way he's played this year so far, John Henderson, there is a chance he can go and pick up a title. He'll be there in Barnsley midweek, and it might be one that the likes of Van Gerwen skip, and maybe some of the players who are playing in next week's European Tour also decide to give a miss.
I think it's confirmed that Van Gerwen's not going to be there, as well as Mensah Suljovic. So that presents an opportunity to a lot of players who want to get a leg up on their season, including John Henderson.
Well, it's just the 58. There is a chance that this ends here and now. But it's not going to. Hendo's going to have one of the... Again, it's that blocker dart that he smashed into, isn't he? And now he decides to move a little bit left or right.
It's
or maybe
bull, surely.
65.
It was always going to be the shot with 2 small 20s.
Six darts from 161, and Hendo's still on 56, and that might be that, because Jackpots could go double-double. Oh, he thought about it. Changed his mind. Got the match dart, but couldn't pin it.
He was shaking his head on that dart at treble 17. Hendo gets this, we can talk about it. But he needs to hit tops, does Big John. 10s. A good grimace from the big man. He gets the job done, but that shot at treble 17 was a great example of what I was talking about with that dart. It just seems to dive at the end. I think that maybe that big flight that he's got in sometimes lets the dart hang too much. And because the weight of his setup is predominantly to the front, it's got quite a heavy dart.
123.
A big flight at the end. The way he loops this thing, it dives at the end. It has a very upright angle. That's a great dart. But that one dived at the end.
137.
He massive mitt. Jackpot does seem to hold it quite far back on the dart compared to, say, Hendo, who's holding it towards the nub of the dart near the point.
43.
Yeah.
But Jackpot does seem to hold it at the back, which you kind of think, there you go. He's got a finger near the front, but a lot of the strength of that grip is back towards where the stem is.
82.
And it's almost sort of arcing it, looping it in, and you can see the nose sort of dart, which is how you get the darts to stick up like that.
Yeah, when John's darts leave his hand, the point goes directly out. Whereas with Adrian Lewis, the point, when it leaves his hand, it climbs towards the ceiling, then it corrects itself in the air. It's very similar to what Dave Chisnell does. That's why they're big scorers. Now, if you saw it in slow motion, you'd see the point climb towards the ceiling, and then it would come back down towards the board. Whereas John's
skids into the board almost, doesn't it?
John's go directly in a rainbow-style arc. There's no point climb at the start.
Well, Hendo's given himself a chance to break the Lewis throw here. And this hasn't been a particularly strong part of his game today, Adrian Lewis. The set-up shots from places like that. All right, he's left himself a 2-darter.
Chance not taken. Really wanted that shot at double 12. It's all in the hands of Jackpot to get this done.
Another low one on treble 20 will lead to 2 at double top. That's what we've got. But again, double top doesn't work for him.
John's getting chances now. He's being allowed into the game. Given more doable chances. Tops.
8.
Well, it's just not really working for either man here, is it? We had John Henderson coming into this off the back of 2 very solid displays. Adrian Lewis having a very solid year But this has not ignited. But it
Game
doesn't
shot.
stop
Man of the
Adrian
match,
Lewis getting the
Adrian
job done.
Lewis.
Once again, it was not particularly impressive the first 2 darts, but not a scintilla of panic from Jackpot, who apologises his way into the quarter-finals, and he could take on his good pal and fellow Stokey, the Diamond Ian White, the number 2 seed on the way against Darren Webster for the right to face Jackpot in the quarter-finals of the German Darts Open.
Jackpot Adrian Lewis ist der nächste Mann im Viertelfinale. John Henderson hat nicht an die Form anknüpfen können, die er uns gestern gezeigt hat in der Partie gegen den Maximizer Max Hopp. Und damit wird Adrian Lewis auf den Sieger des nächsten Duells, der nächsten Partie treffen. Ian White gegen Darren Webster. Applaus für Hendo, für John Henderson. Adrian, I've seen you playing better darts. Believe me.
Both of us, I think, dragged each other down. I think it was a terrible game, and you know, we both apologised to the crowd for that. It was terrible.
Yeah, is it because of nobody is pushing the other one?
Yeah, I think both of us expected each other kick in, and then as soon as it didn't happen, we were chasing shadows. Really, it was quite a difficult game.
Is it difficult to find the next gear for tonight?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, not tonight. No, obviously now you're in the quarterfinals. You've got, you know. Well, if I play like that, I'll be lucky win a leg. It'll be 6-0, and I'm going home. So no. Hopefully I can. You know, I'll show a lot better than that. It was embarrassing, that was.
Okay, cool. See you later. Adrian Lewis entschuldigt sich auch im Namen von John Henderson für das Match hier gerade. Das war nix, sagt er. Und wenn er sich heute Abend nicht steigern kann, dann wird er vielleicht ein Leg gewinnen, aber auf keinen Fall ein ganzes Match. Also er muss sich steigern. Adrian Lewis. Wie gesagt, jetzt gleich Ian White, die 2 der Setzliste hier bei den German Darts Open 2019 gegen den Demolition Man Darren Webster.